So Mark Crossfield here, and we're going to have a look today at TaylorMade's iron range. So I've got TaylorMade's irons all the way from the Super Launch big fat soles down to the R9 TP down there at the bottom. So we've got all the irons, we're going to have a wallop of them, talk to you about what each iron can do and how they might help your game, and who maybe want to use, what kind of standard a golfer might want to use the different irons. So let's start at the beginning. So TaylorMade's most game improving, the TaylorMade Super Launch because of the size of the sole, it's just ginormous. Ignore my fitting tape on the bottom there, I've done a custom fit on these recently. Pop these down. So TaylorMade Super Launch, it's big, it's chunky, it's arguably quite ugly. Performance wise though, for golfers who need a bit of help getting the ball up in the air when it comes to Super Launch, well, I mean, it does exactly what the name says. It launches. It super launches. So the burner Super Launch, you've got technology, you've got thin faces, you've got fat big old sole, big chunky top edge as well. So this is all about game improvement, trying to inspire confidence with golfers. It's almost like a little rescue, like a little wood through the iron set. So the burner Super Launch is, I mean, I love this set, it's fantastic. If I ever get lessons with people who swing the club nice but don't really get the correct launch because maybe they haven't got the right club head speed, or they have a couple of faults that always tend to knock the ball a bit lower than it should go, as well as working on those faults, definitely the Super Launch is an iron I'll give them just to show them what's out there to actually help try and get some launch. So when you look down at the Super Launch, it looks like a little wood, it's offset, it's chunky, but for me when I hit it, it goes into orbit, it goes up, which is so it's not made for me really, it's not a club I would use, but I totally understand the Super Launch. We sell lots of these, it's a great iron. Anyone looking for launch, definitely Super Launch is a good one to go. So game improvement, beginners, people who hit the ball lower, so even down to 12 handicappers who might hit the ball low could still enjoy Super Launch. Next we go up to the TaylorMade Burner 2.0. This is the newest out of their irons in the range. Lovely black kind of gunmetal-y finish. Great technology on this one. So each iron, TaylorMade saying that each iron in your bag serves a different purpose. So they've made each iron kind of try to do exactly what it's meant to. Longer irons are bigger heads. Thinner faces hit the ball further, where the short irons like the 8s, 9s and what have you are more compact heads, not as thin a face, to give you a bit more control. So Burner, TaylorMade Burner 2.0, off the face it is a weapon. It absolutely springs off the face on the 2.0. Not as high launching as the Super Launch because it hasn't got the very thick sole that you see in the Super Launch. You can see there the Burner 2.0 is a thinner sole. It's not a thin sole by any means, but it's definitely a thinner sole than the Super Launch. Most clubs are. Top edge on the Burner 2.0, much more classic looking, so this club really can start crossing over. So what I mean by that is it's new golfers, game improvers, even lower handicappers into the single figures can still enjoy 2.0 Burner because it's powerful, it's strong, it's relatively big but not as big as other things out there. And like I say, off the face, when it comes to the 2.0 Burner from TaylorMade, it's a weapon. It just fires. It's so springy, it's powerful, it feels very solid off the face. That's the Burner 2.0. Definitely a bit of a crossover iron, lots of golfers could use that one. Then coming down into TaylorMade's R9 brand. So this is the TaylorMade R9. Little bit more classic looking maybe than the Burner. It's still quite chunky, the R9, quite a thick top edge. Again, they're saying it's got inverted cone technology. For me, the R9 is a great performing club. Again, it goes, it flies. I personally think 2.0 will outsell R9. Don't know, but that's what I feel. Both the clubs, for me, do very similar things. Similar bottom soles in the thickness. Very similar top lines in the thickness. Performance wise, Burner 2.0 for me feels a bit stronger than R9, but R9 does feel nice. It's a bit uglier, R9. It just looks fractionally cumbersome, where the burner 2.0, well, basically 2.0's got this black head, so half of the top line kind of disappears because of the darkness of it, so you only see this silver trim of the face on the top, so it looks more classic when you look down. Where R9 being more chromed all over the head, you do just see the whole of the thickness of the top line. So even though the top line is the same as the 2.0, the 2.0 appears smaller. But R9 obviously is a big brand for TaylorMade. It's a brand they like to go forward with, I'm sure, and the drivers and what have you. R9's done very well, so they're crossing that over onto the irons, and the iron does feel solid. You know, if you're sold and you're into R9, I can totally see why you might get these. It's powerful, it's strong. For me, it's doing the same thing as 2.0. I like the darker head on the 2.0 than the R9, but again, R9 great iron. And then finally going up into the R9 TP. So you're getting the same technology you get in the R9, so quite a strong face, but again, just ignore my fitting tape on the bottom here. We've been custom fitting these. Thinner sole, less offset with more classic top line, much smaller top line on the top of that one. Bringing it down to the ball, it looks nice. I mean, it's a TaylorMade iron that actually looks relatively classic off the face, hitting the TP, R9 TP. Feels nice, doesn't feel as springy as the burner 2.0 or arguably the R9 itself, but the TP, you wouldn't want it to be springy. You want it to be a slightly deader feel off the face, give you more feel, give you more control, which is exactly what this market's about. The TP is what you're going to see the guys on the telly using. They don't need distance. You're looking really for ultimate control. The less offset makes it look much more appealing to the eye. The thinner top edge looks great. But at the heart, it's still TaylorMade, so you are getting a bit of help. You're getting a cavity, you're getting weight at the bottom. So the R9 TP, I totally get this iron. It's a great iron, real crossover in the players who could use this club. Certainly beginners wouldn't really go for this iron so much, but people who want an iron with a bit of power in the head, but are also looking for something with some control and a bit more of a classic look. Obviously as well, people who like TaylorMade as a brand and want to buy into what TaylorMade are about. R9 TP, good iron. You're going to see good players using this iron. I think you're going to see 15, maybe even up to 20 handicappers using this iron as well, and still being able to perform with it. So a great range from TaylorMade. You've got the most game improving club out on the market at the moment in Super Launch. I love the Super Launch. So many people I teach who hit the Super Launch very well, get it up in the air, get really good distance of it. Exactly the same with a 2.0. I mean, the distance this thing gets when I do club fits is just frightening. It's so strong, which people like. People like to get a bit more distance out of their iron. It just makes golf a little easier. And then going down into R9. R9 obviously a great brand. I'm a bigger fan of the TP, but I like the smaller head, so that doesn't take away from the R9. I just think out of all of them, the R9 is arguably the slightly ugliest of them all. Obviously the Super Launch is the ugliest, but it's meant to be. It's meant to get the ball up in the air. So it's an interesting range, great performing. TaylorMade at the moment are only producing clubs that just do perform. They do exactly what they're meant to do. And they've really got an iron for every player out there, from beginner looking to get higher to a really good player looking to get lower shots, more control of their shots with a classic look. So TaylorMade irons, check them out. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, do place comments down below. Don't be afraid to subscribe as well. But thanks for watching.